that this lineup is on par, if not better, than the 2020 lineup. The fabled, now folklore-ish, greatest lineup that ever was ever released. This could be as good as that year.
Season 8. Season 8. Think about that, guys. Season 8 of the What Podcast. Are you kidding me?
Time flies. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether you're having any fun.
Oh my gosh, we're not going down that road.
But we are having fun.
We are having fun. Season 8 of the What Podcast. How you guys been? It's been we ended up. I thought we were going to take a couple of weeks. We've taken almost a month.
It was a refreshing time off, is what it was, Barry. And boy, it breaks Larry David's rules from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
A little late into the year, but Happy New Year anyway. And yeah, I'm excited for a new year, a new season, a new lineup that we will spend the next several months dissecting. A little bit we'll touch today, but not too deep just yet. I haven't gone on my discovery path just yet. I imagine some dove into it immediately, and some maybe, like me, and depending on what you guys are doing, kind of slow dance into it. But that's what I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah. So here's where I am. We're going to jump all over the place today. The lineup came out last week. I thought we had a great episode. I love doing the live stream. Once again, thanks to you,
I thought it was a ton of fun. A lot of fun. And I wasn't sure what to expect at all. And as per usual, thought it's probably going to go very well.
No, I thought it went great. We had great numbers, great participation. I think we all agree that this is a great lineup, and we are going to dive deep into it over the coming weeks and months.
We all agree,
Probably
except
not
for that
today.
one guy.
That one guy. Yeah. Worst ever. I love that stuff. But we're going to get into that. We're right now, what we want to do is do a little catching up. And guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go a little bit sideways. I have two passions in my life, besides my family, obviously, grandkids and family. Bonnaroo and Notre Dame football.
No, here we go.
I am obsessed.
Here we go.
I know. And here's the reason I bring it up, because I've been thinking about this a lot. The first couple of years that I went to Bonnaroo, I noticed, I've told you many times, I went that very first day, 2002, went to cover it as a newspaper reporter, walked into the grounds and saw people passing around a bong made out of like an inflatable thing. I've never seen it before, sitting under the tree in front of the witch. And I thought, well, this is different. This is kind of a different environment.
I could get used to this maybe.
Fell in love right away. And then I started going on the regular in 2007. And one of the things I noticed is you didn't see a lot of sports memorabilia. You didn't see a lot of, SEC hats and jerseys and whatever. It was people there to see and hear music. And that just hit me big. Again, a Notre Dame fan, the last thing I've ever done is wear a Notre Dame hat or a Notre Dame shirt or anything, because you just don't see them there. It's about the music. And I've said this before, literally changed my life. It re-energized me as far as live music, as far as festivals, just everything, my job, everything. And of course, we've become obsessed with this thing.
It's a very common story that I can tell a different version of, but yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not kidding when I'm not overstating. I mean, it literally,
I don't think you are at all.
Changed my universe. And so, and I say that because obviously Notre Dame is now in the championship game a week from basically when we say this. So those are my two passions. They're completely different. One is irrational. One is.
I think they both are irrational.
Well, fair enough. I mean,
I think everybody's passion can be irrational. That's what makes them so passionate, and that can bring a level of interest and uniqueness to it that someone else doesn't have.
It was just unusual this week to have, Notre Dame do what they did and the Bonnaroo lineup come out. So I mean, my universe is completely
You know what?
Collide.
I
weird.
didn't quite think about it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't quite think about it that way because you can look back on things, and sports is a perfect way because the fandom is the same as something like a festival like this that is so passionate to so many people. And it's funny to look back and be like, oh, wow, two things I wanted so badly. I got at the exact same time.
The
And that
exact
doesn't
same
happen very often. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Is very it's been a wild week, I should say.
Are you ready for the disappointment that 2012 brought you, though? Like, are you prepared for something like that? Because everybody, like me, the haters in 2012, they lost to Alabama very convincingly.
Got curb stomped.
Very convincingly, and that's what everybody thought would happen then. And all the haters like me think that's going to happen again when they play
could.
Ohio State.
Ohio State is a very, very good team, and by all rights should win. Notre Dame is dealing with so many injuries, and I mean that all sounds like an excuse, whatever. And the difference, Brian, is for years and years and years it was a popularity contest. It was like people like you and me voting on who we thought was the best. This year, now with the 12 teams, you had to kind of earn your way.
True. And do you think that people like me that think that Notre Dame get too much of the popularity contest, that's part of why we dislike them so much, because of the out of the conference and their own TV network, and the popularity contest. Sorry to turn this into a college football conversation.
Yeah, we'll move on quickly.
Barry said 30 minutes on Notre Dame, and I was like,
now I'm about I was kidding.
Now I'm about to drag you into it. But that's what's elevated Notre Dame so many times to where we, the haters, think that they don't deserve. But this time they deserve it because on paper they played in front of them all the way to it. And like nobody, not even the jerks like me, can take that away from you.
Yep, that's it. That's it. And I've seen all these maps of everything. It's like the entire country is pulling for Notre Dame because they love this coach. And so
the coach is cool. The coach is cool, and there are a lot of Catholics in America and a lot of Catholics in the world. And Notre Dame is a worldwide, global phenomenon in itself. And so I think they're the best looking team on the field. I mean, there's no way to argue against that. The gold and the green and the dark and the navy, it is a beautiful combination, and they look beautiful on the field. Now, we'll see about the play. That game was not that good, Barry, and you got to admit that first half put college football back about 20
No,
years.
they were whipped. 100%.
But
the other quick thing is I think the country is ready for somebody other than the SEC to be a champion. So there's that too. Just because the SEC has been so good. I mean, Georgia, Alabama, Nick Saban. So anyway, you guys did not come here to talk Notre Dame football, but it's a big
so
deal. Interesting because again, it's the passion thing for me. That's the reason I bring it up, not because I'm trying to convert anybody to Notre Dame football. It's just what a weird confluence, a merging of worlds for me. Anyway.
That is pretty cool, though. That's definitely pretty cool. A nice post-Christmas gift, if you will. Speaking of which, what did you guys do over the Christmas holiday? Just my story isn't all that exciting. Chilled and loved it.
Yep. 100%.
Taco, you start. What do you at least took that thing out to the woods a time or two, right?
I did. I went on a few trips. The biggest one was a couple weeks ago. We went to the Pisgah National Forest in North Carolina and camped there for about 4 days. That was the Pisgah bus rally.
So cold too, right?
It was extremely cold. Oh yeah.
Oh God, freezing ass cold.
Freezing cold. And then, unfortunately, there was no rally this time. We usually do a trip through the woods, but with Helene and we being so close to Asheville, a lot of those service roads were still just washed out. So there really wasn't just anywhere to go notable. So
I guess because
still a fun trip.
We go from one catastrophe to another. Yeah. I forgot that was still a thing. And if I were to rewind the show and start over, I'd say, were you even allowed to go that close to where you went? What didn't even cross my mind. My bad on that. But
yeah, I would say, most of the main highways, we did have to go a different route because of some of the road closures. But most of the main roads were fine. But you talk about some of these backwoods, forest service roads. You're talking dirt, gravel. A lot of those. There's just hardly any way to get back there to clear it all. So yeah, I mean, it was still evident that Helene was left her mark.
Good
But
time
it
though,
was
huh?
still a great trip. Yeah, did about 400 miles round trip there and back. Super proud of the bus. Super glad to have it back. There was
Working that bus hard, man. Working that
yeah,
bus hard in Western North Carolina.
yeah. There's a
But just
period I didn't have it because it was down for about a year and it with no engine. So it just feels good to be able to hop in and take it on a trip and it do so well.
along those lines, and I don't want to bring things down, but I do because we're talking about the tragedies and what's happened up there and then in California. But also, Russ, I just on a personal note, I know you lost a good friend over the holidays, and we've talked about that on this show several times. Mental health is such a real thing,
It
and
is.
just kind of a again, not to bring things down, but people, if you know somebody or if you're struggling, there is help, and I hope you can find it. And
Yeah, I think it's a good
I'm
point.
sorry for
And
your loss, man.
thank you. And yeah, like if there's somebody that you haven't thought of in a while that you maybe just think I ought to reach out and just see how they're doing. Probably a good idea to do that. Because you never know.
Yeah, don't wait.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
sad stuff.
yeah, holidays aren't always the best, but yeah, we're getting through it.
What
Yeah.
about you, Barry? What, did you just chill in the basement and by the fire all
Spent a
December? Or
lot of
what?
time by the fire. Had a lot of grandbabies around us. Had my daughter and her two and husband were with us for 4 or 5 days right before Christmas, and that was a blast. It's so much fun when you have a 3 and a 4 year old running around the house at the holidays. It's amazing how quickly a home can go from fairly, you know, put together to a disaster.
Yeah, I know. It sounds
Mhm.
awful.
It takes about 10 minutes.
Sounds
Toys
awful.
everywhere.
It sounds awful, even though I understand how great it can be. And here and down in Chattanooga, this past weekend, we got a bunch of snow, which we don't get, like good snow, like real snow,
Yeah, right.
and that shuts the city down for at least a day. And you save the jokes for yourself. That's just what happens down here in the South. But I don't have children and don't want them, but I see the socials exploding with the kids and how like people who I used to run with and we were like badasses and whatever. Now I'm like the favorite. This is the favorite time of my life. Like all that. I'm like I get it. I do get it. I remember being a kid. It's like
Mhm.
people get mad at me when I want to talk about how to raise kids. Well, you don't have any. Well, guess what? I was one, so I kind of got a little bit of a firsthand experience with this. And I
Yeah.
remember being a kid and being in the snow and how awesome it is. And that stuff's real and that memory making stuff is real. So from Christmas to this little snow event we have down here, which is really feels bigger than Christmas 2
Yeah,
weeks later
for
from
sure.
a social snapshot. Like this is awesome. I think it's fun to watch. I don't want to do it myself, but I think it's fun to watch.
Yeah. No, I saw some of your socials. You posted. You spent some time with your
With the
nieces
cats.
and nephews and
Oh, over Christmas. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the
Christmas and
snow.
holidays, right? I mean, it's different. It's fun.
It is. It is. Especially being an uncle, nieces and nephews is always nice. But
Yeah, they go home at the end of the day.
Right.
well, it's the oldest joke in the 21st century, but it's true. You
Yeah.
get to do all the cool stuff, and then see you later.
Wind them up, load them up with sugar, and send them home.
See you later, and they think you're better than their parents.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Man, Uncle Brian's so much cooler than my.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I just don't know how to parent you, and I got to get the hell out of here. You're gonna die of diabetes by the end of the week.
That's exactly right. But all right, so
But
that's what we did. What else did we miss over the holiday?
well, let me give you another. Your Notre Dame thing. I got another thing about Pearl Jam. We do that real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, they announced their schedule for the spring. It's like 2 shows each city for like 6 cities. It's just a little extension of last year's tour. They probably dollar signs popped up just enough, and they haven't been in the South in a long time. So they have those shows. Atlanta and Nashville is where I'm going, and the ticket prices are just like all these other legacy deals. All of them. They're a little less than say Elton John. They're a little less than say Fleetwood Mac. but there's still a lot in that legacy genre department. And I got to go to at least one, and I jump on, and I want to go to Atlanta and Nashville because they haven't been to Atlanta proper outside of a festival in 20 years. And so I jump on to buy tickets, and this story is pretty good, better for a campfire. So find me at a campfire, I'll tell you more. But at the end of the day, I ended up going in to buy a couple of tickets, left with 6 tickets to 2 different shows, Atlanta and Nashville. Now, I am not a wealthy man, but I spent more money than I've ever spent on tickets in one sitting in my life. And it was part of like, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop. And I justified it every way possible. Boy, I did some gymnastics that you couldn't even imagine. Economic gymnastics. Like, well, I shaved $10 off of that, so that's going to be fine.
There you
Last
go.
week I saved $20. I made $20
On
last
sale,
week.
yeah.
So 20 plus 20 plus 20, I'm doing all, what's the sunny day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's connecting all the dots like a murder investigation. I did not spend $2,000, Barry, but I was dangerously close to that amount of money. And here's the big ultimate justification, and I still feel good about it, is that my buddy that helped me out in Las Vegas, he's along for the ride. I'm taking care of him on that one.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
brother,
you owe that dude.
I owe him 10 Pearl Jam shows. This is like a granule of sand of appreciation.
Yeah.
And my brothers and a stepbrother, like all friends, lifelong friends, family. 2 shows for me, 6 of us total. And I walk away thinking, and Chris, wrap that up in Christmas gifts. And now I'm still happy to spend the money. Happy to do it.
I tell you what I've learned in my 61 years is once I spend the money, I never think about it again. You know what I mean?
That has got truth to it a lot, but occasionally you can still have buyer's remorse. But in case like this, boy,
big home improvement projects, the number looks so crazy, but once we do it, I'm like, I never think about it again. I'm glad we did what we did.
Yeah.
And
so this was kind of a paying it forward, paying it back kind of thing. And it was like, you know what? I don't pay for a lot of things, and people really take care of me all the time. It shouldn't be too much to ask for me to come off the wallet to help some others out that didn't need it.
Good point.
They didn't need it, but they want it. And so there you go.
This is not Brian's. Go ahead, Russ.
I just remembered, not me, but my nephew, he got tickets to see Metallica in Atlanta in June for Christmas, and he's pretty excited. He's about to turn 14. And he's been to a few concerts, but
life-changing.
This is probably his biggest
in
one
the
that he
round.
wants to see.
In the round at the football stadium, if I remember right, at the Falcons Stadium.
The Mercedes-Benz,
Nice.
I think is right.
That is going to be a monster spectacle and show. That is going to be great.
I know, and I'm super excited for him to go. And of course, it says this is Metallica's final tour. Who knows if that's actually true or not? But
yeah, whatever.
I'm glad he's got the opportunity to go see him.
Are you chaperoning this?
No, it's just him and his mom going.
Dun, dun, dun,
nice. What I was going to say is this is not Brian's only podcast. He does Stone on Air, and if you want to go back and listen to, he does a full episode on his trip to the Sphere, which is what we're talking about, why he owes this guy so much. And
I guess I should have minorly reset that. Yeah, but a July trip that was covered by not me. Is just a small little token of my appreciation.
Yeah,
going back
that's a good
way.
friend. And that reminds me, we did our last show before the lineup was sort of our Christmas thing, and we talked about vinyl. And I just wanted to recap that. I got we did what would you buy as sort of a starter kit vinyl for people if they were getting a turntable for Christmas. My daughter-in-law got a turntable, and I ended up getting the Charlie Brown Christmas vinyl, brand new,
nice.
and Chapel Roan for both my daughter and my daughter-in-law. Huge hits.
Nice.
In fact, I think Christmas Day late, I got a text from my son, the one who bought the turntable, and said, "I'm in. I'm all in vinyl. We've been listening all day long."
That's
So
great.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
that's really cool.
Let
So
me give you one more Christmas update here. Almost
Mhm.
forgot about this. So, uh, you'll have to know the Christmas Vacation movie, which most everybody does. When Chevy goes up and he gets stuck in the attic while everybody goes to the mall, and then he's digging through stuff and he's cold and he finds old presents that he forgot that he or somebody stashed up there maybe decades before. And my stepmother, my father and stepmother, I'm sure it was her, not my father. I don't know. He might take credit for it. I don't know. But they ended up being in the attic looking for uh, whatever and found this old. I mean, this isn't crazy old, and you're not really gonna know unless I tell you potentially. But this old Titans hat that
Oh,
you can
nice.
see with these ridiculous like tiger stripe things. For anybody who doesn't know, which is likely all of you, this is a style from about 2005,
nice.
2006, 2007. This dumb, I mean, you don't buy this off the rack anymore. And so they were like, I think we got this for Bryan in the last 20 years. We're just not sure. And it's a real Reebok, nice, licensed, fitted, fits
Fitted.
like a charm hat, but with this ridiculous early 2000s style. I was like, that's the coolest gift I got all
Nice.
year. You found it in the attic from 2005.
See,
So,
there you go. The sports theme.
yeah,
We have our passions.
that was
Yeah.
my favorite
Fat
gift.
fashion from 2005. That's perfect for Brian Stone.
It always comes back.
Fading in and out of fashion my whole life, man. My whole life. What about New Year's? Anything? You guys do anything?
No, we don't. That's it's funny. I've several of my musician friends posted things. You know, I saw a couple of them. The funniest lines I saw was, "I just figured out what I'm going to wear to the den." You know, tonight when the ball drops, kind of thing. You know, it's a tired joke, but it was funny.
Yeah, I went to Widespread Panic, usually in Atlanta, but sometimes in Nashville or maybe Charlotte once for New Year's, and that was just it. That's what I did from 2001, 2, speaking of that time frame, till 5 years ago. If it's not that, I don't really care. But I did go to our local thing that was just a small thing, but it was put together by Helm Projects, and it looked fabulous. And Helm Projects, which you're not going to know the name of, but does several stages inside of Bonnaroo, and is done as a local company here in town. Justin Casey, who we at least know through others and what am I trying to say, acquaintances.
Mhm.
And we're gonna get him on the show to talk lighting
Yep.
he travels all around
Yeah,
the country. I
he's
won't
the
say
dude.
world, even though I know they're international, but he's tough to corner. But we'll have him on to talk stage lighting and maybe more about this Infinity stage. I doubt he'll know, and he'll probably know. I doubt he'll say everything because he's a very Brad Parker type guy who knows how to keep it between the ditches and on how things are discussed. But that was really a great setup in our local New Year's Eve ball drop kind of recreation kind of thing, and hope to have Justin on sometime down the road.
I'm glad you mentioned the Infinity stage. There's, I think I sent you guys the link. Brad Parker, the aforementioned director of festivals for our part of the country, including Bonnaroo, did a great interview with the Reddicks.
Consequence.
Consequence, excuse me. That's right. Consequence.
Well, he did both actually.
Probably
There's
did
two different
both.
articles. Yeah.
About that stage.
Hmm.
And it's I highly recommend it. We can link it if you want
Yep.
to.
Put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
But it's more about the audio than the visual. This 360 experience with this Infinity stage is you're going to be able to stand there and hear music literally surrounding you versus like with the Sphere. It's not that kind of. It's not a visual thing so much, if I'm understanding correctly, as it is an audio thing. So, very
It,
curious.
it's fun to read and think and fantasize about this because that's all we can do.
Right.
There's nothing like it.
Right.
It was test run in Asia from the little I could read, and this version of it. Now all you got to do is tweak something to say this is the only one in the world like this. I mean, because someone came back at the festival and was like, "What about the Lost Lands stage they have? I can't remember what it's called." And then he's like, "That's totally different." And then when I look at him like, or I read about him like, I'm not sure if that's totally different, but I just don't know. I'm just not sure. So it's fun to speculate because that's all we can do. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this stage. The problem I think we're going to run into is that it's going to be the hottest ticket, proverbially on the farm, and everybody's going to want to see it. And it's probably going to be the most, not probably, it definitely will be. It's the first one, the most primitive version of what we're going to see. Like 2 or 3 years down the road, if this thing has any staying power at all,
Right.
it's going to not even be recognizable to what it is now. So it's almost one of those, I won't get the iPhone 1. I'll get the iPhone 2 or 3.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I still don't want to see it like now.
Yeah.
I want to see what this is all about. What does this mean? Plus, also real quick, with as far as the sound, the immersiveness of it, and it even sounds like it might go outside of the actual structure it is. Again, I'm sorry, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But God, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So the sound being the most important part. Well, there's a few spots in Bonnaroo where all the sound, there's like almost we need a scientific name for it, where all the sound starts to smash into each other, and that's, I would think my quick thought is that's where the vendors, like the main vending area is, and that can be a really noise polluted area.
Yeah.
And like almost like oh, I can't hear, I'm losing my mind. Like I wonder if they have a good strategic place to put that to where sound and noise pollution will not interfere with that.
It's probably as good a time as any to talk about what the future holds for as far as the show. We want to have Brad on. We want to have Corey back on. Corey, still no word on baby drop. His baby is due any day now.
I was hoping we'd have a baby update or some baby news.
Yeah, but that's one of the questions is where they're going to put this stage. I mean, we can kind of guess,
I mean, it's easier to say where the comedy stage used to be, right? That's the easy thing to say.
That would be my first thought. So
they might even know. They might not even know you yet. This might be so early in this thing that they haven't even, logistically figured it out.
Yeah, this could be a move the hill moment, right? This could be a something gets drastically redesigned landscape wise.
Could be. So we're going to have those guys on. We definitely want to have Bryan and Steven on to talk about this lineup. I probably should have said that at the start. While we're not going to go specifically into the lineup today, I did want to say, just quick glance, the more I look at it, I just think they built so many lanes with this one. It still feels very curated, probably as good a job of curating as we've seen with a lineup in a long, long time. So I want to talk to them about how it got together or how it fell together. I know they try to do that, but it doesn't always fall into place. So definitely want to do that. We have some other guests planned, people that are longtime part of the Bonnaroo experience and the universe. They've reached out and want to be on the show, and we want to have them. I can't wait to do that. We've got our contest that we need to talk about. We announced last week. I guess now's as good a time as any.
Let's do it.
Sure. Oh, I do want to mention also, you were talking about, name dropping guests and stuff. I did run into our buddy Sam Fort that we got on, talk about the Tivoli and Memorial Auditorium, two of our local venues here. He does all the, sound and production for that. Saw him at Low Main the other night. So he says to tell you hi.
Sam's a good dude.
All right. Good stuff. Yeah, great local venues here, especially the Tivoli, which is going under. It's one of the oldest, right there with all the rest of the the Fox Theater,
Yeah.
the
Absolutely.
they're all
Ryman's, all those kind
The
of.
Ryman,
yeah,
it's very historic, very very nice.
one of the first of its kind to have air conditioning. I'll have you know,
I did
under
not know that.
under construction right now, or
Oh, yeah.
not
First in the
construction, under
South.
remodeling
was.
for an extensive period of time, and it is a jewel of the city.
All right, so the contest we announced last week, we've got 2 tickets to give away, plus camping, and we've decided we're going to ask a different question every week, and I'm going to let Russ go into the details, but we've got several ways for you to enter. Old, new, high-tech, low-tech.
We're covering the gauntlet here of random ways to give away things via old and new media.
We
And so
do.
the question last week was, what do you think of the lineup? And we gave you several ways to enter, and we're going to share some of those examples of entries that we've already gotten. So what's your favorite one so far, Russ? What's the favorite way to enter?
Well, I think we started out with the voicemails, which we've done in the past, and those are always great. 423-667-7877 is you can call and drop us a voicemail, quick, 30-second or whatever, to answer the question. We also have an email set up, the email is comments@thewhatpodcast.com. If you've got pictures you want to send us, that's fine. We also are, for the first time, allowing video submissions where you can record your own video and send it to us. And there's a page on the form, a page on the website. You can do that. And then somebody in the chat last week when we did the live show, I think he was joking, but he said something about, "Oh, can I fax my entry in?" And I said, "Actually,
That
you
is
can."
actually funny. That is.
I don't
funny.
think he knew that I actually have a fax machine that works, but
He
so
was
we've opened
probably
up the
being a
fax
smart
line.
asshole about it.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a fax machine too. As a matter of fact, we
As
do.
would
As a
matter.
matter of fact, we do. And we did receive a fax entry, so that's pretty fun. Keep those coming for sure.
Sorry,
The
go ahead.
what.co, the what.co/win has all the details on how to enter and all the links that you can click on to get your submission sent in.
And if I could just say, guys, real quick, you guys are a smart audience. You wouldn't be listening to this show if you didn't have a little bit of intellect in your head. We're just trying to have as much fun with everything we do as possible. Just bring it with something. Forget even that moment's like call to action, which means call now or buy this or here's the sale or just forget that. You've got creativeness in you. I know you do. I know you love Bonnaroo. You can't not be a unique individual if Bonnaroo is important to you. Just bring something fun. Bring something fun, and we'll use it for sure. And your chances of winning go
That's
way up.
Want. We want the passion.
But also, I mean, I'm not here to gatekeep the contest, right? I mean, we want you involved, and we want and this also too, like the contest world, I get real beaten over the head with enter now. We got a decent amount of people listen to the show, and we're happy for that, and it makes us feel good, and it does, and we couldn't do this without it. But it ain't nothing compared to some of these giveaways. So this is a small pot that we're pulling from, even though it's it's bigger than nothing, but it's not thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of that. It's not a never-ending amount of people. Your chances of winning on a scale of grading it, it's pretty good actually. And if you bring us something fun, we're gonna have it. You'll be bumped to the top of the list of least of considerations.
It's small enough we get to look at every entry that comes in, but yes, absolutely. If you can do something that's unique, different, makes us stand out, it's definitely going to go a long way.
Absolutely, that's a good way of putting it. That's a great way to put it on a scale people can understand because that digested real easy for me. We will see every entry.
Absolutely.
We will see every entry.
At them right now.
When Lightning 100, the radio star, our friends at Lightning 100, who we used to work with directly at Bonnaroo in Nashville, I only use them because I follow them regularly. They're doing a bunch of contests. Put out a thing. It's all computer generated. At this, hashtag this. That's fine. That's fun enough. But they don't see all that. That's just a generation of stuff. You know, this is more interactive. This is real people. This is three guys running a podcast, and not a bunch of algorithms. So anyway, that's a long way of saying have fun with it, and we look forward to reading it and seeing it.
Yeah, and we want to put you on the show. We've got some examples here too of what we're talking about.
You share the fax entry.
Yeah, here's the facts. This comes from Bosco, who's on our Discord.
Bosco!
And yeah, it sent his nice cover sheet that said, I hope this works. And his entry says, the headliners
Give me
weren't
tickets
picked for me. Yeah, give me tickets. Yeah, thanks. Now, he says, the headliners weren't picked for me in my mid to late 30s, but I understand the appeal of them. Tyler will be crazy. Olivia will be super fun. Still on the fence about the other two. Most importantly, King Gizzard is going to melt people's minds all weekend. And then Goose and Queens of the Stone Age, Justice and Tipper, plus the undercard. That's a lot to enjoy. Can't wait. So I think that pretty much sums it up.
Not a bad start on the fax line.
And, you know, he figured out how to send a fax. I'm not even getting into that. So
Yeah.
I love it.
if you can figure it out, the number is 706-965-4335.
I love it.
And do you have anything else you want to play from that, just to give people an idea of what we're doing?
Yeah, I think we're going to play. We actually got our first video submission here from Michael, and we're going to play that. Are you all ready?
Yep.
Hey there, What Podcast? I'm Michael, and I am super stoked for this year's Bonnaroo lineup. I think it's the best lineup we've had in quite a long time, but I'm a little biased since I'm a massive, massive King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard fan. Their residency on the farm is basically a dream come true for me, and I cannot wait to see what they do with 3 nights. Anything from a marathon set, an acoustic set, an electronic set, and if we're lucky, a non-Igon Infinity set on the new Infinity stage would be awesome, and you know, it just makes sense. The rest of the lineup could be absolute garbage, and I'd probably still say this is the best lineup we've gotten just off of the residency, but the rest of the lineup is awesome, and there's a lot more I'm excited for as well. I like how the headliners are all different genres, and it lets me kind of explore a different vibe each night. I think the undercard is incredibly stacked this year. There's a ton of undercard artists I'm excited for. I'd say Ginger Root and Dope Lemon are probably some of the most slept on artists this year so far. If you've never heard of them, give them a listen and check them out. They're probably who I'm most excited for that is not King Gizzard. Remy Wolf Super Jam is going to be awesome. She killed it in 2023, and I'm excited for that. And also just a 1970s pool party sounds like a fun time and a great vibe. The EDM lineup is amazing. Probably the most stacked EDM lineup we've had at Bonnaroo ever. There's a ton of big names. Personally, super excited to see Tipper on the farm. My only real complaints this year is that I wish they'd bring back the Sunday Legacy Act. That was always a really fun way to close out the farm. So I'd love to see that come back in future years. And I say it every year, but bring jam bands back to Bonnaroo. There's definitely some that I'm excited for, but I just wish there were more. But every year I say it, and every year I have a phenomenal time regardless, and I hope that this year's the same. So, happy Roo, y'all, and I hope to see you on the farm.
Bring back the jam bands.
All right. I love everything about this. So
Yep.
That guy's my spirit animal. Deadhead shirt, old monitors, army jacket. Man, that guy's killing it.
Yeah, if you're listening and you're not watching this on YouTube, this is what I love. This was a well-considered answer. He thought about his background. He thought about everything. The video, I love it.
Yeah, well done.
Love the old school CRTs there. He clearly knows his audience. He's playing to us.
I also gotta say though, I mean, we don't want to say this yet, but Hosier is knocking on the door of a legacy act. He's in his mid-30s. I mean, I knocking on the door. Now the door's way down the hall, but he's just saying. Not the newest.
We're going to talk about that some more later. There's several of those. You know, we love I love the Ruham guys. They're in their late 20s. They're already talking about legacy acts. You know, like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah. Oh, I know. No, Avril is the senior citizen out here.
Yeah, I don't know if you realize this. She is 40.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's just a little younger than us.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's how quickly things turn.
But yeah, great
What
video.
a great entry, Michael.
Perfect example of a template. That's a great template right there for how to do this. So thank you so much.
Yep. And we got what? A voicemail? We want to play a voicemail, right?
I think we'll play a voicemail too. Just seeing we got one of those.
Let's do it.
All right, this is Lena.
Hey guys, my name is Lena, and I was watching the episode this week and saw the prompt asking what my thoughts about the lineup are. I'm super excited about the Bonnaroo lineup this year. I had heard all of the rumors that it was going to be amazing, but it exceeded my expectations by a million. My top 3 favorite bands of all time are on the lineup, so that's really all I could ask for. Glass Animals, Flip Turn, and Mount Joy. It'll be my 20th time seeing Flip Turn, and I just cannot wait. I've loved them for such a long time, and seeing them grow from when they played Bonnaroo in 2022 to now, and they're so high up on the lineup, is just so exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to Vampire Weekend and just honestly everything. I'm excited to explore more EDM, meet people, make new friends this year. It's just going to be great, and I can't wait. So, yeah, I love listening to your podcast so much. It makes me so excited for Bonnaroo. So thank you for doing that.
There you go. Another great answer.
Well, all right, Lena. So,
All right.
coolest
so-
guy I've seen, the coolest guy ever, and then somebody, a girl I might need to meet. Vampire Weekend and Mount Joy and Flip Turn. 20 times she's seen Flip Turn.
Russ, you never
Yes.
did get that phone call, did you? Grandma never
No.
called, did she?
Grandma did not.
We gotta revisit this.
Yeah, we might have to do a follow-up interview, see if we can get Grandma on the line.
For those of you who don't remember, Flip Turn was at our Moon River.
I was gonna say I'm struggling to remember.
No, they were at
Yeah.
our Moon River festival, and
I remember that.
What was the song, Russ?
It was Everybody Wants to Rule the World. by Tears for Fears.
Everybody wants
yeah.
to. Yeah.
and
They
I don't-
covered that song during the show, and that was, I think, my question to them was, it's a great pick for a song. What made you choose to cover that? And one of them said, well, my grandmother listens to that song.
Yeah.
Your
And you
grandma?
said, "What's her number?" or something?
No,
Yeah,
at the end,
that's
yeah,
what
we're
they
wrapping
call
up,
me.
and Russ, out of nowhere, he'd been sitting quietly the whole time. Says, "Tell your grandma to call me."
How did I forget that? I was there.
Sounds like the coolest grandma to me.
It was so funny. It was so well timed. Yeah, tell
Yeah.
grandma to call me.
Forgive me for forgetting for such a great whimsical moment.
I think my daughter reminded me of that actually because she was there filming with us or something.
That's right,
She was
she
like,
was.
Did Grandma ever call Russ?"
They were there. I remember Grace was there. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, isn't that exciting? I can't wait to talk to them again. We'll definitely have to arrange to have them back on the show on the farm while we're there.
Luckily, Flip Turn will return our phone calls, so that
Yeah.
will not be a problem. We'll definitely do that down the road. So
So there you go. Those are good entries. What did we decide? I've already forgotten. What did we said a question a week. So what did we come up with for this week?
I think I proposed a question that it turns out was the same one y'all just did. Didn't I? I thought something like your first reactions to the first thing you heard. Well,
Oh
was
no!
basically
What you said was we did our first, and I guess to keep it simple. Now that we've had a week or two, I'd be curious to know what people's thoughts are now that because there's always that first blush. We've done it where we've said this is the best or this is the worst, and then
Oh,
a
yeah.
week later we're like,
well, let me think about that one for a minute.
I'm not
Yeah.
backing off. I still think it's a very, very good lineup.
Oh,
Me too.
I'm going to go so far to say, and yeah, let's do that. So just your initial thoughts, not good lineup, bad lineup. I don't know, just your feelings after a day and a half. Like enough time to think about it, but not enough time to learn new artists. Not enough time to dig further deeper
Yeah,
into
we'll do
like
that later.
like 2 songs from Hozier, but you don't know any more than that. But just an overall thought about a day afterwards, 2 days afterwards of the festival lineup, and my first knee jerk overreaction was, and I'm still having trouble dragging myself away from it, that this lineup is on par, if not better than the 2020 lineup. The fabled, now folklore-ish, greatest lineup that was ever released. And I believe a lot of that has turned into revisionist folklore. It is great. I think this one, I said it to myself immediately. I said it out loud immediately. And a week later, I'm still thinking it. this could be as good as that year. That's my original thought without, or my sorry, not original, but initial thought was this might be better than 2020, and I might talk myself out of that. So that kind of stuff for the contest.
How about you, Ross?
I am not quite there, but I think I could be. I mean, it's just
the
really good.
strength. It's just the strength
I'm with
of it
you.
that just goes down the line.
That's it for me. It's not, and I thought this initially. It's not just the high points. It's not the names. It just feels like it's so well curated every day that there's something that's going to get me out there all day long.
Yeah,
And it's
I will,
always
From this one to
curated
this
well.
one to this one to this one.
Yeah, it's always curated well. Go ahead.
I will say
Chuck.
this. Tell me if you agree. This year, I will not be leaving early Sunday at all.
Sunday's
Not
a hell of a
chance.
day.
If you're closing out with Queens of the Stone Age, Vampire Weekend, and Hosier,
It's a hell of
I
a
want to be
way
there
to
for
close
every
it.
minute of it. Yep.
I haven't committed yet to going on Tuesday like you
Yeah.
do, but I definitely will be there Thursday, and I'll be there through Sunday.
Well, let's
sure.
we'll let the year unfold on that one. I got a quick challenge for you guys. That is a super simple one that you can just jot down, and we can maybe revisit it next week or down the road, and then we can look at it months later. I went through the lineup in the last 2 days, and I still have not done any discovery yet. And I wrote down every artist from each day that I would definitely see were there no conflicts. So that's not a huge number of bands. I mean, it never is. 4 to 5 a day, something like that, I would say, where it averages out. And I would like to revisit that, say, in May.
Yeah.
And then see where we think, like, what are the 5 bands we can't miss on this day in May? And see what that list looks like in May as opposed to the second week of January. So we can maybe kick that around over the next week or something.
I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
can do
And
that.
I would also say last year, for me, I was very pointed that it was the Hug and Howdy tour because I knew I was going to go see the guys from Rooham and the Real Rubus and all that. And I was very intentional about doing that, and I did it. This year already, I'm really into the EDM. I am going to make a point of spending a lot of time or as much time as I can. I want to see Dom Dalla. I want to get the other people that David and Lauren and Kyle have already pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, David about jumped out of his shoes for Dom Dalla, like a first thing out of his mouth. And I was like,
That's right.
Dom Dalla, what the hell are you talking about? I still don't know who it is, but yeah, he was
Tipper, I
over
wanna
the
see.
moon excited.
That right now is my sort of my challenge, my discovery challenge is I want to come up with my list of the EDM bands that I'm going to see this year.
Cool. Yeah, so just on my list, and we can talk about it more next week, day to day today, I'm not going to give you names, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, amount of bands I want to see: Thursday 5, Friday 7, Saturday 5, Sunday 3. I know that sounds light I know that sounds light on Sunday, but I went realistically. Like, what do I think I actually would do? 5, 7, 5, 3.
Well,
Where
if
does that number
anybody's
change?
been listening to this show for any length of time, that is about 15 more bands than Bryan would typically.
15. I was about to do the math. That's 17 on the list. So that's
I
about
was
right.
close.
That's about right.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
you're
even
not
Let's say
gonna-
Barry, there's only 15.
You're not going to sit in your car all weekend and listen to the Chainsmokers?
No, I put Luke Combs on the list here. And now it's a what stage, so I will go. So that's a bad example. But I put whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
I'll come
No,
up
no,
with my
no.
list, too. Yeah.
All right, guys. What else? I'm like I said, I'm excited. We've got a lot of shows planned. I need to get
Yeah.
busy setting these things up.
I do want to
Yeah,
mention
Yeah, go ahead.
real quick. Next week, Totem is doing a meetup in Nashville on Sunday the 19th, and it's going to be at Rosemary and Beauty Queen. It was the same place that Bonnaroo did the meetup a couple months ago in East Nashville. Totem's doing that Sunday at 3, I think. So just wanted to give that a shout out. I'm probably going to go. I don't know about you guys.
If you are in Nashville, there's only one part of the city to be in, and that's East Nashville. And so that is a good start for a good place to be, because Nashville has lost control. Meaning as a comfortable, easy city to deal with. East Nashville is still it's the jewel of Nashville. Is East Nasty, as I'm sure they get mad when us out of towners call it.
All right, Corey, if you're listening, man, I hope the baby is there and healthy, and everybody else hit like and subscribe and do all that stuff, and please enter the contest. If for no other reason, we just love hearing from you.
It is fun, guys.
Yeah.
It is fun. We do enjoy it, and we got a lot of time to fill. So
And we got
we try to do the best, most amazing content ever created every single second of our lives. We all know that's not going to happen. So help us out here. Help us out.
Enter multiple times. If you already sent a submission one week, but you want to answer next week's question, go for it.
Wow me, guys. Wow
Yeah.
me.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.